I would just like to announce that we will be commencing the recording of these proceedings, and that recording will start in approximately 30 seconds. And you're all being upstanding, so we can now welcome Her Worship, Mayor Ruth Butterfield.
Thanks, everyone. Still getting questions. I was asking a question about what time the filming actually starts, so just clarifying whether people see me walk out or they won't see me walk out. Thanks, everyone. I will begin by paying my respects to the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet, the Whadjuk Noongar people, and their elders, past and present. And I'll declare the meeting open at 1 minute past 7, or 2 minutes past 7 it's actually. Welcome everyone along. We have a couple of previously granted leave of absences for Councillor Hancock and Councillor Stoneham, and we have Councillor Burke is an apology tonight. That takes us through to, and welcome along, and thank you for Executive Directors for popping along tonight, and the CEO obviously. Advice of response to previous public questions taken on notice. There aren't any. Applications for leave of absence, we do have a couple tonight. So we have one for Councillor Sargison from the 6th to the 9th of August, inclusive, that's 2024, and one for Councillor Busby from the 6th of September to the 13th of October 2024, inclusive. These dates have already passed. Oh. Okay. They were last meeting, but they're still on my desk, so I read them out again, just to make doubly sure. Okay. Don't you love live streaming? Ooh, so looking forward to it. Okay, so we've already got yours noted, Councillor Busby, and Councillor Sargison, you've already taken yours. Well done. Petitions. Have we got any petitions for presentation tonight? If not, we'll move on to confirmation of minutes, 7.1. Is anyone prepared to move that the minutes at the rear of this report represent a true and correct record? Councillor Joy, thank you. Is there anyone opposed? No one's opposed. Thank you, that's carried. Announcements by the person presiding without discussion. That's on my desk, on your desks. Councillors, if I've put your name down in the wrong spot or missed it indeed altogether of any of those events, please let me know and I'll have it corrected in the minutes. So we have had a few events that councillors may or may not have turned up to, so I'll just note that the Outside the Frame exhibition opening was a wonderful event. Thank you very much to the staff who organised that. We had more people turn up than had RSVP'd, which they tend to do these days, so you can never quite tell the numbers, but there was a fantastic crowd there. Lots of young people, lots of supportive parents, lots of supportive teachers, and it made for a nice opening with a lot of a bigger crowd there. Looking at the artworks, and there was 99 artworks presented on the night from various 20 schools around the metro area. So a really good turnout, lovely exhibition, some great talent there, and it's been professionally curated. And of course the artworks themselves are looking very professional, because the teachers these days are producing better finishes for the works. So what's presented to us is a lot better quality. So get along if you haven't seen it already. Right, moving on. Questions by members of which due notice has been given without discussion. I don't believe we have any. Next we go to reports, and the first one is a technical services report. The Chair.
Yep, happy to move the minutes of the Technical Services Committee held on Monday, 5th of August, subject to any corrections, which I have none.
Thank you. Chair has moved receipt of the minutes of the Technical Services meeting, or the record of the meeting, I should say. Is there anyone opposed? No one opposed? Thank you, that's carried. Move into the agenda itself, and it begins on page 8 with 1.1, Conference Attendance, National Local Roads Transport and Infrastructure Congress from the 3rd to the 4th of December 2024, with the recommendation on page 10. Page 11, 2.1, Air, Water, Soil and Land Strategy, with the recommendation coming on page 20. Page 21, 2.2, City of Armadale Carbon Rebaselining, with the recommendation on page 35. Page 36, 2.3, Engineering 9, Managing Phytophthora Dieback Policy. Recommendation on page 41. Is the Chair prepared to move all those items?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Chair has moved. Is there anyone opposed? If not, thank you. That's carried. Takes us through to the minutes, or the record of the meeting of the Community Services meeting held on the 6th of August. Is the Chair prepared to move those notes?
I'd like to move the minutes of the Community Services meeting held on the 6th of August 2024, subject to any corrections, in which I have none.
Thank you. The Chair has moved. Do we have any corrections, or Councillor Keogh, have you got a correction?
Thanks, Mayor. I just wanted to clarify where I might have missed it in the minutes, where it's recorded that myself, Councillor Silva and the Mayor declared the interest of being members of the...
That's
Council
right at the start.
Did I miss it, did I?
Sorry, of the actual report itself. So we have the report itself starting... Oh, sorry, I'll ask if anyone's opposed to that being moved. No one's opposed. Thank you. That's carried. 1.1, Draft Policy, Welcome to Country and Acknowledgement of Country Cultural Protocols, with the recommendation coming on page 50. I do have a changed policy, and not changed policy, changed to the recommendation. It's more of an administrative sort of a change. I won't be able to see my screen, but if we could pop it up onto the screens. There was a discrepancy, I'll call it that, with the referencing in part of the words, the report and the words around the policy. So this option gives us it removes that confusion. So the recommendation is still that we endorse the policy, however with that change. Just letting them read it. Councillor Mosey, are you opposed or do you have a question?
I have a question, please.
Yep.
Do we have it showing what it would actually look like in the document that we could see? So that doesn't make a lot of sense to me without seeing the actual new policy, sorry.
Through the chair, in the policy itself, the City of Armadale 2023 in closed brackets appears in the introduction in 2 places, and then the actual full reference appears in the reference list. So it would simply be the deletion of the 2 closed brackets in the introduction and the deletion of that reference from the reference list.
Is there anyone opposed? Councillor, we have someone opposed. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Willinger. Okay, I'll speak to this item. It was brought to my attention that when writing papers, we should not be citing the City of Armadale, as we are not we have not done the research that this apparently applies to. So referencing ourselves, and if we go to the document that it actually references, then it's not an academic or it's not a research-based paper. So referencing ourselves is a little bit odd and not doesn't give the credit to the people who did do the research. So it's inappropriate for us to claim by that referencing. So I would suggest that we move option number 1, which is on the screen now, so that that reference is taken out of the document.
Sorry, just Mayor, for clarification it's on the draft policy page 15. It's actually got City of Armadale, comma, not dot. Just thought you might want to correct that in your recommendation. That's a dot, isn't it? Within the brackets? Sorry. Just to be correct.
Happy to take that on into account. Thank you. We'll change it to a comma. Councillor Willinger, would you like to speak to this, please?
Just briefly. The policy does reference the, sorry, let me just get it up here. I've got the policy. It references accurately the Southwest Aboriginal Land and Sea Council, which has probably got most of the information that's here. So referencing the City of Armadale's Reconciliation Action Plan, which would probably have just referenced the Southwest Aboriginal Land and Sea Council, would have been just more accurate to have left it as the Southwest Aboriginal Land and Sea Council rather than diverting people to the Reconciliation Action Plan that had no references. So just removing it just clarifies that.
Thank you, Councillor Willinger. Councillor Mosey, would you like to speak?
I'm not violently opposed to it, but I thought my understanding of why we had it in there was because we were referencing our own Reconciliation Action Plan. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing for our new Welcome to Country and Acknowledgement of Country policy to do that, and also getting it sprung when I don't actually have the actual policy to look and see what it's being pulled out of is why I opposed it, I guess.
Thank you, Councillor Mosey. Councillor Keogh, you're on your feet.
Thanks. I just got a question, if I can ask.
Yes.
So just to clarify, does this mean that with our Welcome to Country, don't have any reference at all to our Reconciliation Action Plan in this document then?
Councillor Keogh, it references the document, so you're talking about a reference talking about the Reconciliation Action Plan. It's referenced all through this document still. We're talking about an academic reference talking to, so when it's in brackets, that means that you've it's a reference, so you're sending people back to that document, but with the brackets around it, like it's an academic paper or that that it's got copyright over it. In this case, anyway, it's still referenced. There's a different type of referencing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thanks. Just want to check because it was that it removes all references, and I just
No,
wanted
no,
to
no,
clarify.
no,
So
no,
in
no.
a different
It's not like
context of referencing.
Yes,
Thank you.
no. Thank you. Is there anyone to speak for the amendment? Anyone to speak against? I guess I'll wrap up. I just it's a tidying up of a document putting a reference into something that we have developed ourselves is not an appropriate way to use a bracketed reference. So it just makes us look silly, basically. So I'd advocate for removing it from the policy document. Thanks, everyone. I will now ask for those all those in favour of the recommendation in front of us. All those against? Thank you, Councillor Mosey. Who's opposed? The motion is 1. Thank you. We'll move on to page 51. 2.1, fireworks event notice application 2024 agricultural show. With those declarations of interest, I will make my declaration that I have a non-financial interest in this item on the basis that I am a member or could be a member. I'm pretty sure I am, of the Agricultural Society, Kelmscott Agricultural Society. Councillor Silver?
I also declare a non-financial interest as I am a member of the society and also a member of their management committee.
Thank you.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, I need to declare a financial interest on this matter because I'm one of the sponsors, so I am leaving the chamber. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Peter. Councillor Keogh.
Thanks, Mayor. Yes, I'm also declaring a non-financial interest as a member of the Kelmscott Agricultural Society, but we'll consider it on its own merits and be impartial. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Keogh. Is there anyone else to declare any interests? No? Just checking, because it is a pretty nice deal that you used to get free parking, so I'm not sure whether we do anymore. Recommendation comes on page 53. I might ask, given that Councillor Peter is out of the room, if we could have the Chair move this item, please.
So moved.
Thank you. Chair has moved. Is there anyone opposed? No one opposed. Thank you. That's carried. If we can invite Councillor Peter back in, please. Thank you. We will now go to page 54, 3.1, RSL Parade Events Referral Matter, with a recommendation coming on. Councillor Keogh.
Thanks, Mayor. I'd like to propose an alternate recommendation to be considered by Council. It appears on your screen there. I'll let you read it, and I'm proposing that alternate recommendation, please.
Councillor Keogh has moved an alternate recommendation, so I'll ask if anyone is opposed. Councillor Busby is opposed. Do I have a seconder for the recommendation? Councillor Mosey has seconded. Councillor Keogh, would you like to speak to your recommendation?
Thank you, Mayor. I know we had a fairly decent discussion on this earlier, councillors, and I thank you very much for that, with your passion and care and concern for the RSL and all the work that is done by the city officers in that regard. I appreciate that the city does do a lot of work with them, and I'm very much thankful for this. but I would also like us to be a little bit proactive in this space, and perhaps rather than what my prior recommendation is, I've amended it to have the mayor rather than city officers meet with the RSL, because I think it'd be good for us to actually have a little bit more information and be able to make a informed decision, or to allow perhaps the city to make a bit more of an informed decision by having the mayor meet with them. I note that we don't really have a lot of information from the RSL itself in our report, as was mentioned by my esteemed colleague, Councillor Joy, where in the report it's mentioned that they speak to Kelmscott Scouts, but not the RSL itself. I'm aware we spoke ad nauseum about things like lighting, sound, bollards, and marches and things like that, and I may be partially responsible for some of those, but I think that a lot of people are, of course, very much aware of these concerns, and also appreciate that they are worthwhile looking at and exploring and wanting to do what we can for our community, because that's, after all, what we're here for. So I propose this particular recommendation, and I leave it into the good hands and judgment of our esteemed Mayor, with her meeting, hopefully, with this recommendation going through, for her to just sound them out and hear what they've got to say. Thank you.
Who's the seconder? Councillor Mosey, would you like to speak?
Yes, I would, please. So yeah, I would urge my fellow councillors to support this motion. It does not obviously commit us to anything, so those that are worried about budget or us being committed to any support, it doesn't. It just simply allows the mayor to talk to the RSL and try and understand what needs they may have and how we might be able to better support, so that their Anzac Day service is bigger and better going forward. So obviously you'll get a chance once, if the mayor comes back with anything that they actually are asking for, to have another say. But right now that's all it's allowing, so I would urge your support.
Thank you, Councillor Mosey. Councillor Busby.
Thanks, Mayor. I'm not fully understanding why we would be directing the mayor to meet. The motion we have is that the city continues. It's just to clarify what Councillor Keogh said, it's not city officers, it is the city, and the city includes the mayor. And I'm sure when I spoke to both the President, Ken Hepburn, and the other RSL member there, they were very comfortable in how they meet with the city, how often they meet with the city, and the support they get for the city. And I'm curious to know why we would be requesting the mayor go and meet when they are meeting with us regularly. And more often than not, the mayor would meet and then defer back to our officers or the right committees anywhere. So I think this is just a motion for the sake of a motion. And I think the motion that was made on the night, which is the one that I would support, is that the city continues to offer assistance to the Armadale and Kelmscott RSL branches as and when required. The President of the RSL, who was here, said that was fine. He was more than happy the way they've been working with us, and I think that motion covers it really, really, really well. It's not about money, whether the mayor meets or the city meets. It's not about money at all. So to change a recommendation for the sake of it, I don't necessarily support it. So that's why I'm voting against it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Busby. Is there anyone to speak for the changed motion? Against?
Yes, we did have a very robust, long discussion for this item the other night, and I just wanted to bring up 2 points that I'm a little bit worried about if we do pass a recommendation such as this, is that are we becoming in the practice of proactively going out to all city groups in all areas of the city asking how they're doing, and should the mayor meet with all of them? And secondly, I'm going to be frank, on the night, the President that was there, he said that none of these had requested to come from them. And that's basically what he said, and he said it to multiple councillors. He actually spoke to multiple councillors on the night too, so if he had any concerns, he could have raised them then. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Silva. Is there anyone to speak for or against? Okay, I might just make a comment then, which you can make as a for or against. My understanding of the issues with the RSL, so it's the Office of the Mayor who does most of the, well, actually probably all of the communication with that group. Now, if they are unhappy, they're not expressing it to the Mayor's office. So it's not myself exactly, well, it's not me at all, but it's the staff associated with the Mayor's office. I understand that Councillor Keogh has had members of the committee approach him and express unhappiness with the way they need or want more things, or they want something or other. If that message is not getting through to the Mayor's office, then I think, and indeed, I did note the fact that the president of the RSL and the other fellow were here the other night, and threw their hands up and went, they don't know what's going on. So I believe that Councillor Keogh is getting some information from them, and that the rest, the Mayor's office and perhaps other councillors are getting other messages from them. So I don't have a problem with meeting with them at all, their representatives. By the same token, I don't mind receiving, if I met with them, I might receive or request some written information from them if they have any requests to be made, so that we clear up the ambiguity of them talking to Councillor Keogh on one moment and then coming and saying that no, we didn't, we're happy. So I think that needs clearing up, whether it's through this recommendation or any other, then I'm happy either way. So that's why I think that I actually need to do, I actually do need to meet with them and see what's going on. Because if they're talking to Councillor Keogh in that manner, then who else are they talking to with unhappy thoughts? So I'm happy to meet with them. If this recommendation doesn't go ahead, then I'll leave it to the Mayor's office to continue to liaise. Thank you. Councillor Keogh, would you like to wrap up?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, certainly.
The Mayor is aware of there is a communication issue. Then what is stopping you to communicate with the RSL currently? You have any issue stopping you to communicate with the RSL group?
Well, the recommendation as it stood before says that the city continues to liaise or offer assistance to the Armadale Kelmscott RSL branches as and when required. So that implies that the city would be doing that, not an elected member. So there's a difference there.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, so just to wrap up a couple of things there, I note, as was basically mentioned, outlined by the Mayor there, that yes, this is a slight variation there, which I think is for the most part quite a good thing, where we're being a little bit more proactive in this space and I guess promoting that idea of the Mayor speaking to the RSL. I don't like, putting words in people's mouths and things like that, or speaking on behalf of people, but to be a third person that spoke to the RSL on the night and the last person who spoke to them after that meeting, there was very much some variations as to what is happening. So I think it's great to try and get some clarity from this, take it out of our hands, leave it with the Mayor and her office, which I think is a great way to go about it. Much to the dismay of many people, I don't look forward to making motions up just for fun. So this is not just a motion I'm making up on the fly or just wanting to, talk, although I have a great voice. And going back, my final point is just, clarity, just wanting clarity on the whole thing. So I think this is a great way to go about it, where it just leaves it with the Mayor's office and we go on from there with whatever comes out of that discussion. So I think it'd be great if we could please support this motion and leave it from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Keogh. I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour of Councillor Keogh's change to the recommendation? Yeah, and me, yep. All those against? Was it 7? Mm. 3 absent. Great. The vote's a tie. Would anyone like to reconsider? No. That leaves it to me to decide. Look, I will actually go with the Councillor Keogh's recommendation. I really do want to get to the bottom of what's going on down there. So I'm happy to go and meet with the RSL and put it to rest one way or another. So I'll vote that way. Takes us through to the end of the recommendation. No, the Chair, are you prepared to move all those items not already dealt with?
So moved.
Councillor Silva has moved all those items that haven't already been dealt with. Is there anyone opposed? No one opposed. Thank you. That's carried. That takes us through the Chief Executive Officer's report of the 12th of August 2024. Do we have someone willing to move receipt of that item? Thank you, Councillor Peter. Is there anyone opposed? No one opposed. Thank you. That's carried. 1.1, Councillors' Information Bulletin, issue number 12, 2024, with the recommendation on page 60. Can I have a mover for that recommendation, please? Councillor Peter has moved again. Thank you. Is there anyone opposed? Thank you, that's carried. We go back to the beginning of the agenda and we come now to motions of which previous notice have been given. There aren't any. Urgent business approved by the person presiding or by decision. There isn't any. Matters for referral to standing committees without discussion. Councillor Willinga.
Yes, sorry, I'm just going to read these. The Canopy Cover Working Group referral item for technical services, the possibility of one-off funding from the mid-year review for infill tube stock planting at Don Simmons, Reg Williams, Cool Park, Westfield Park, Cam Clay, Powell Crescent Reserves and Villatella Park and Brant and Owen Roads in winter 2025. And another one, a referral item for development services, the possibility of funding from the mid-year review for LiDAR mapping, such as Metro Map of aerometrics for high-resolution spatial data maps of vegetation to quantitate and monitor the canopy cover of the City of Armadale.
Thank you, Councillor Willinga. Councillor Peter?
Yep. Madam Chair, I have a few items to be referred. Because of the budget time, I haven't raised any items. So I have 5 items. The first one is request an update on 8th Road and Forest Road redevelopment. The second one, request a report on the green and bulk waste collection. Third one is request a report for the review of budget allocation for the security incentive scheme. And fourth one is a request a report on city's graffiti removal volunteers group. And the last one is request a report on the upgrade of play equipment and outdoor fitness equipment at Northley Park, Harrisdale. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Peter. I would suggest that most of those are probably not councillor referral items, but we'll see when we get there. Okay, where are we? Are there any other matters for referral? No? Okay, matters requiring confidential consideration. There aren't any. That brings us to closure at 7:36. Thanks very much, everyone.